Hey guys and gals, welcome to another episode of Comics and Sweet Tea. So glad to have all you guys on with us again this evening. Hey, it's been a whole week and that's hard to believe. Anyway, got an awesome guest for you guys tonight. Can't wait to bring him back on. It's been a minute since we talked. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a second. Hey guys, be a part of the conversation. Drop a comment, ask questions. Hey, we'll get those answered for you guys. If you're catching this later on after the live, still drop your comments, still put in your questions, and I promise we will get back to you. Uh, hey, this thing's growing. Thanks to everybody, to all the new subscribers. Just continue to spread the word, you guys, so we can bring you all this indie goodness. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in my good friend, Kalvin Harris. Kalvin,
Hey
it's
man,
awesome to have you back on, man.
good to see you, man. It's been a while.
It has been a minute, man, and you've been busy. I've been seeing you post. You've had a lot going on. Let's dive right into it. Tell us, okay, the Kickstarter. You had the Kickstarter that went extremely well. Had a good response to that. Tim, let me jump into this first. What'd you think about Kickstarter for the first time?
Man, I was so lost, man. I'll be honest with you. You helped me out a lot.
Yeah, man. Hey,
All right, so listen, I,
that's what we're here for,
I
man.
thought I had started Kickstarter and hadn't even started it. With the link, I'm thinking I was doing
Yeah,
well, and it was intense, man. And I appreciate the tips you gave me. It really helped me out because it was I was blind, man. I was just out there flying, just didn't know where I was going. No compass, nothing.
you did good though, man. You had an extremely good Kickstarter. Looked like you had a good response for a first time. And tell me though, how was the grind going through it though? That full 30 days. Kind of walk us through that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. What's weird about Kickstarter. So, and I think you come from the same place. We come from having to work, not ask anybody for money, not
Yeah.
to do anything. Well, the weird thing for me was kind of felt like I was begging.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't want
yeah.
to beg, but this is something I love. I had to put my
Right.
ego, myself to the side and go, you know what? This is your dream. You want this. And you do what it takes to get out there and start understanding that Kickstarter wasn't about begging, but it was about finding
Exactly.
people who wanted to back you, believe in it, and get things first. And have been what blew my mind was the people who, uh, they said that the people who know you don't back you. That was not my experience, man. It really wasn't. I got Instagram family. I got people at work. I got family who kicked in, and I didn't expect it. I mean, I was just grateful for the whole thing, but it was just, I would say this, it was good stress. I guess you would call it good stress because,
Yeah.
you come out the gate, and I came out the gate banging. And then what I learned was it's
Right.
certain days that the money comes in. But
Yep.
remember, first week we did over half was gone less than the first week. And then what I start realizing on Thursday, Friday, and then on Sunday, it would go up. And then we end up hitting I think 7,200 and did I think 107%. So it was a blessing. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really was.
That's absolutely incredible, man. I'm so proud for you too. Yeah, I mean Kickstarter. That first week, you're kind of floating on cloud nine. Everything's rolling along. Everybody's like, "Hey, you can watch it grow," and then seems like after that first week, it just kind of flatlines a little bit, and then
It's quiet.
and
Listen,
then
it you're right, man. It slows down, and
yeah,
once it slows down, man, you start thinking, "Am I gonna make it? What am I gonna
yeah,
do?" Do you mind if I
right,
shut the door? My
man.
daughter is
Yeah,
playing the
do your
she's
thing.
playing the live video upstairs of us talking, so I hear us twice. Just 1 second, okay?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than an echo, man. It'll throw you off bad.
I'm glad they love me though.
That's right.
I'll be
There's nothing like your kids supporting you, man. That makes
there.
that much more special.
I was worried. I heard a man's voice up there. I was like, "Uh-oh, I'm downstairs. Who up there? It's only my girls, and my wife
Who,
up there."
who I gotta go up there and throw out the window? Yeah. Oh
I
man.
got a question, man. I mean, listen, we interview, but we talk. But hey, listen, I wasn't the only one that's been putting some stuff out. You've been a busy man too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, I I love this stuff, man. You know that, and I'm constantly steady working, steady pushing it. I'm working on a new sci-fi project now, and yeah. I'll I'll shoot you something later. Little
Say
something
something, man.
something.
It was funny. What was funny was, so don't get me wrong, you've always been great at drawing, just like I draw and stuff. But what has, for me, and I'm just giving you a shout out, man. Your art did it went like it was already it just went, and
Man,
I love to see it the stuff you put out. Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, Calvin.
yeah.
Yeah. I told somebody a while back. This last book, I put down here. Robert Harris says, "Go Pops." He's proud of his dad. Um, but yeah, man, the last issue, I've said this before. It was tough. That last issue of End of Days, and I mean, I I scrapped a lot, and I kind of went back to basics, and almost went back to square one with it, and just changed a lot of things. And I think for the better because the issue. Oh my God, man! I really pushed myself in that one, and extremely proud of how it turned out. But something just clicked, while I was working on that issue. And I don't know what it was, but it's crazy, man. Hey, you see what I'm putting out now? Something turned on.
You know what it's called, don't you?
What's that?
Consistency.
Yeah,
Consistency.
yeah.
Yeah,
Practice makes
and
perfect.
you know what blows my mind about this whole thing?
What's that?
People think that it's easy, man. They think
Oh
they see that
God,
product.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I call it ballerina feet. You ever see ballerina feet?
yeah.
Man, ballerinas all pretty and they're doing this.
Oh
People
yeah,
think, wow, they're the greatest, man. But the work they put in, the way their feet look, and you see it, you're like,
oh
these
yeah.
are killing themselves. And it was funny you said it. It's no one's coming to save you. No one's doing anything. You have to get this job done. If you want this dream to come true, you have to put the work in. It is no shortcuts
You've got to
around the
do
way.
it, man. I mean, nobody. I've said this too. Have a good support system. You gotta have that. That's key. Whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be whatever, you've got to surround yourself with good people that can pick you up when you go down because you're going to go down sooner or later. I mean, you're going to get in a rut. You're going to depression comes in sometimes. It's a lot of things can happen. I mean, people don't realize artists and creators, we live in our own head a lot. And it takes people that care about us to pull us out of that. Just come along and say, hey, get away from that for a little while. Let's go do something. Let's go somewhere. Let's do this. Let's do that.
What's funny, and what I didn't anticipate either. And I talked to he actually I end up calling him my cousin because his name is Jack Harris. He does Terminus Vale. He has a lot of books out. Great guy to talk to.
Yeah,
Gives good advice. Um, but he told me I was like, man, I put all these books out and I've sold a good bit of them. But I haven't gotten any feedback. No one told me what they thought about the story. And, I'm thinking it sucks. And he goes, man, I've been doing this for all these years and I've only had maybe 5 people tell me. He said, the way you know is when people ask you when the next book is coming out. That's one.
exactly. Yep.
He says if they keep following, your followers are going up. If you're selling books and you're doing stuff like that, that tells it. He said, you'll get a few reviews. And I might have gotten maybe 4 people total just to go in and one was today, as a matter of fact. One of my a guy I know, it really threw me off because he was asking me when the next book came out, and But yeah, you get down on yourself because you start thinking, because you're not hearing anybody saying anything, that, man, does my drawing suck? Does the story suck? What's going on? You automatically assume the worst. But
Right.
no, man, it's not that they don't like it. It just means they're waiting for the next thing.
Exactly. And I tell you, man, I it I guess it was maybe issue 3. It was chapter 3 of End of Days. And I was just like you, man. I was like, what do people think about it? Do they think it's dog shit? I mean, what's going on? Why ain't nobody talking to me?
I
And
know.
everybody was showing up for the Kickstarters. Everything was funded, but
Yeah.
nothing. And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I had somebody call me. One of my followers called me through Instagram, and from Manchester, England. And yeah, I'm like, wow, what is this? I answer it, and I can't do an English accent. I'm not even going to try. So I'll put it in my country bumpkin voice. He says, yeah. He says, Jerry, I just want to reach out to you. He said, I really love what you're doing. I can tell you care about this, the detail you're putting into everything, the backgrounds. He says, I walk these streets every day. You know, I I I've seen some of the stuff that you've referenced in your books, and I just want you to know it's being noticed.
Yeah.
Your love for this, and man, I almost cried, Calvin. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, please.
I almost
Hey,
cried.
you got
I
a little
swelled
voice.
up with
I
oh
know.
yeah, swelled up with tears, man. I'm like, man, my allergies. I appreciate it.
You like,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, but it means the world to us to have that kind of gratification. To know that we're reaching somebody. It's nice to hear those things every once in a while.
No, it just feels good. I mean, that one had to be big, man, to call you. I mean, it
Oh
was
yeah,
that clock you put up, the way you draw that clock and them in front of that clock. Oh,
oh
man, I
yeah,
love that picture.
yeah.
I love that picture,
Let's see. Dan
man.
Price says, "Evening, fellas. Evening, Dan. Glad to have you in chat, dude." That's Dan Price from Bigfoot Knows Karate.
Oh yeah, we've met I think I met him at Heroes Con. Is
He
that
was
true,
there.
Dan?
Yep, he was there.
Ah, see,
Yeah,
you don't remember
yep.
me, do you? See,
Let's see if he
he's a little bigger
remembers.
than.
He'll pop back in and say if he remembers. But anyway, talking about the cons, that brings me to the next thing, dude. I've only done one as a. You've done several here lately. Tell me, let's get into that. How you been liking the con scene?
Man, that's work too, because so
Yeah,
the way you
yeah,
look at cons is, you go to a con, you're thinking, you have to understand that it's different sides. If you're out there shopping, having a good time,
right.
cons work, man. You're there from before they get there.
Oh
You have to
God,
have
yeah,
everything set up, have all your pricing, have all, so they can get their money because they're moving around. Um, you have to talk to people. What I've learned is that people like to see artists draw.
yeah,
So for the majority of the time, I catch on that I had to learn that to draw while people walk by, if that
yeah,
makes sense. You have to greet them, but you're trying
yeah.
to sit here and draw. But what gets me is that when I run into people who either supported the Kickstarter or saw me online and, hey, I didn't get one of your books, they stopped and got a book and talked to us for a while. They talked to me and Josh. Josh was co-writer on the book too.
Right.
Great guy. Matter of fact, I would love to introduce you to him. Great guy, a phenomenal
Love to
writer.
meet him, man.
But huh?
I'd
I
love
mean,
to
I mean,
meet him.
cool dude, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna make you laugh about Josh. So Josh, I'm gonna talk about him. And I think we're cool on your show.
Oh
So
yeah,
Josh he's lighter than you. He's lighter than you.
I
I'm
got you.
serious.
I
He
got you.
is lighter than you. And
Okay.
when you see him, the funny thing about Josh is this. So I met Josh at work, and the VP at the time um, was talking to him, and he comes up to me. He says, "Calvin, did you know Josh was black?" And I was like, "What? Josh was black?" He goes, "Because he got a bald head, right? You just can't
Yeah.
tell, man." He goes, I
Right.
was like, "Yeah." So Josh says, "Man, I'm gonna tell you something. That's been my whole life." He says, all white people think I'm white. He said, but everybody black knows I'm black. I was like, it's so funny. But if you ever see him, you're gonna be like, damn, you
Yeah.
look like a white dude for real. But Josh is a cool guy, man. But no,
Hmm.
getting back to the con, it's just it's work, man. It's not as fun as you think it is. It's nice to
No,
be, but
God. No.
you're tired. By the time you get home, you better take an extra day off work because
Oh
you're gonna be
yeah.
knocked out.
Now,
Yeah.
what do you been hitting the 3 day cons a lot, or you have pretty much
Man, I
two,
think
3 days?
yeah, 3 or 4 days. I've done those.
Oh
I've done
wow.
yeah, I mean then my Heroes Con is alone. That right there is pretty big. But
Yeah.
what I was trying to do, and I'm still trying to get into is
You know,
New
I
York
was
Con.
supposed to be there.
New York or Heroes?
Heroes. Yeah, you know that. Let me explain. Let me
You're
tell you
killing
what
me.
happened. No, I know. Anyway, John, that does Frog Boy, he did
Okay.
the art for the badges and everything, and the banners and all that. I'm good friends with John,
Yeah.
and we met through Instagram. So yeah, I had talked to John, uh, and we had planned. I had actually we had talked about me coming up and us tabling pretty close together and everything. And yeah, when I found out it was Father's Day, I had to pull the plug on it so I could be home for my kids and my grandbaby. But yeah, I was going to be there until I found out it was
Here, let
Father's
me
Day.
tell you. When I tell you it is this is a con that is meant for artists.
That's what I've heard.
And when I tell you they give the artist love, when I tell you that the way they have it set up is perfect. I don't know. It was just everybody's nice. It was a nice town, a nice area.
It's in
Um,
Charleston, wasn't it?
let me
Charleston?
say it again.
Was it in
Yeah,
Charleston?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and this is where it gets good. Where it gets good. Um, you network. So, last time I used an artist he was out of Nigeria. He was a colorist and nice guy. He was
Yeah.
God was real good. But I'm actually considering because I met some young artists who were coming up who does good work, and they're like right in Savannah, Georgia, and one is in Atlanta,
Oh
and
wow,
they're hungry. They're reaching out. Hey, when is the book done? Because I only have right now to finish up issue 2. I think 3 or 4 more pages to ink,
man,
and that's
that's
gonna be done.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
How,
Matter
how
of fact,
many pages? Yeah, show that. How many pages are you going on issue 2?
this one is about. I'm at the counter, man. You know what? I just do them and put them out. But the last book was 60 pages.
Yeah.
I think you've seen it. It's pretty thick.
Oh yeah,
This
I
one is.
got it. I got it.
Yeah, this one. It's pretty decent, man. Yeah, it's pretty. Man, I put that work in, man. When I tell you, I'm gonna send you my favorite page. I know this is country what I'm doing right now.
Hell
Uh,
no, man.
all
We're
the
both country. Country's cool.
this is my favorite page.
Oh God, yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
it's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice. And what I did was I was at the con, and I just want to give you where I came from with this. So, so the first 2 books I had wrote, and then I had Josh come in and he revamped some things and tightened it up. And this next story is more of a back issue to show you where the powers and where everything comes from, to give you a good back.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. I want you to know what's going on to give this story some meat. And I was sitting there, and I had fell in love with this power. I call them a power couple. I think it's Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. He's doing Ain't No Grave. He done the You and Me. We love
Yeah,
each other.
I've heard Ain't No Grave. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Great Les is great, but they work together like a team. And I was talking to Josh, and I said, Josh, I said, I want to take it to another level, man. I was like, but I don't want to just be drawing. I want people to be like, wow, they put some stuff together. So we were sitting at the table, and
Yeah,
I said, hey, I like what you wrote. I said, but I'm getting ready to write this part in the story where they get pulled up in the sky and they get dropped. And I want you to write it right. Go back right now and write. Give me some details because I need some passion from you and passion. And man, he's sitting there and he's like, "You got you." And when I was explaining to him that tag team that they had, and just to say how we cannot slack on things, how we have to step it up to the next level. And he got into it, man. You think I'm joking? He was sitting there, he was typing, and I was just waiting, and he says, "I got it," and he said, "I'm gonna read it to you." So he starts reading, and man, you think I'm joking? While he was reading, I was sketching. I was just sketching, and the next day I came out with it lined up, and we went in there, we revamped some things just to make it to take it to another level because
Right.
it was funny. Rodney Barnes was there too, and I talked to him, and he did Philadelphia. And I
Yeah.
was looking at his work, and I was like, man, this man don't have any handcuffs on. He just lets it go. It's just
Yeah.
great writing, and stuff like that. I said, why do I have to wear handcuffs? Why do I have to be cuffed? We
You
don't have to
don't,
be.
man. I mean, we're in a special place, man. We don't have to deal with editors. We don't have to deal with publishers. I
Nope.
mean, who do we answer to? Ourselves.
Yeah,
We're our own limitation.
we
That's
are,
it. The sky's the limit.
man. It has woken me up. It has. It has woken me up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna be the best artist I can be. Not necessarily. I'm not comparing myself to other people, but I'm gonna try to
No,
be the best that I can be. Yeah.
that's that's the way I've looked at it ever since I was young. Calvin, people would be like, "Oh, I can draw better than you." Great, fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you, man? I'm
Yeah.
having fun doing what I'm doing. I've never tried to compare myself to anybody. I've never tried to. I've never been that way, Calvin. I wasn't raised that way. My mom and dad. I was raised in a Christian home. My dad was a preacher. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah,
You peacock?
I am a preacher's son, Calvin.
Yeah.
But besides pounding the word of God into my head and tearing my butt up whenever I didn't act right,
He just
he
spent a
he
rod.
yeah he told me, he said, you son, I don't care what you do. Well, let me reword this. He said always treat people, son, the way you want to be treated. Whether you never put yourself above anybody. He said, if I ever catch you doing that, I don't care if you're 80 years old. I'm your daddy, and I'm always going to be your daddy, and I'll tell you how right there. Period. And that stuck with me. And I've always tried to carry that my whole life. I just, yeah, I, I've done it with my kids too. I remember one instance with my daughter. She got to hanging around with some bratty little girls, and I mean, I hate to speak that of them, but they weren't
No,
raised they
they
weren't
do their
raised
best.
like we were. They were making fun of this girl because she had on, some older clothes, and
Yeah.
my daughter popped off something. They're in the back seat now. And they're looking out the window, and I said, let me explain something to you girls right now. I said, I ain't your daddy. I said, but what you're doing is wrong. I said, that girl ain't old enough to buy her clothes. I said, what you're doing is wrong. And I told my daughter right in front of them, I said, this will be the last time you'll be hanging out with these girls because I'm fixing to take them home. And I said, you know better, Elizabeth. That's what I told her. I said, you know better. I said, you're not any better than anybody else. And I better not ever catch you doing that again. And that
But
you,
look what
you
you
got to teach
stated,
them, though.
man.
You got
Yeah.
to teach them.
Yeah, that's it, man. I keep it real with mine too. I mean, um, my boys the same way. Well, look, Josh just popped in.
Yeah,
Thanks for the shout
yeah.
out,
I,
sir.
I put him
That's
in.
so
Yep, he's in there. Josh, next
good.
time Calvin's on, I want to have both of you guys. If I'd have known, I'd have sent you a link, man, and we
Yeah,
we could have
I,
got you in
I,
here.
man. Look. I'm a brag on him. Like, he's gonna kill me for telling about his skin tone, though. So,
Oh man, he said you're
man,
paler than I am, Josh. He
he
said
is.
that. He said that.
He'll
Oh,
say something soon.
yeah. It'll be a
You
pleasure
know,
to have you on next time, Josh. I can't wait to meet you, dude.
man. It's
He
funny.
said he's in.
He's in.
Yeah.
It's funny. What I'm trying to do now, and I think you're doing the same thing. I'm working on some side projects too. I'm actually probably gonna look for some talent on some art stuff, just to bring some new talent in because I'm trying to build a company, man. I'm trying to build a
I
media company,
got you. I
not just
got you.
putting out a book. Yeah, I've been putting some stuff to the side. We're working on a new title, and I'm gonna start looking for some talent. So if you know some talent, I
Oh,
like
you
getting
know
word.
I know some talent.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll send them your way, man. And I'll
cool.
make sure they're
Yeah,
good, reliable folks.
yeah. And listen to this, so they understand. I'm not a cheap guy. I pay people for what they
Yeah,
do. I'm not one of those guys who are trying to cheat you or anything like that. I take care of you and handle business. Business is business.
that's right.
Personal is personal. Yeah. So
So,
so
tell me
well,
about
I didn't.
that, man. You are trying to build an empire. When did all this start? Yeah, I mean, just blow it. Hey, man, you just drop that casually too. Like, hey, man, I'm doing this media thing, and
Man, listen.
tell me about it. Tell us about it.
This is my
You
man. I
can't
mean,
just drop
this is
that like it's nothing, man. Oh yeah, I'm a media company, but anyway,
That's always been the plan. It's been the plan, and to bring other artists up. What inspired us, I think, was Image. Image inspired us to get
oh
these
god,
these
yeah,
guys to go out there. They were rebels, and they say they're independent now, but now they're number
they're
three.
not.
So I don't think
They're
they're.
not anymore.
But I still respect what they did. But my thing
Oh
is,
god,
like
yeah,
I said, back to being handcuffs. No, we not. Let's get it out there. Let's get. There are a lot of companies out there making it happen. And one thing that I noticed when I went to the cons was these guys they didn't just have one book. They had one book that I knew of because I was paying attention to that book. But then they had other titles of other artists, like I think Greg Brown had a couple books, and when you have a couple books, that means that I can relate to more people. This book might not be for you, but this book is for you. This is your cup of
yeah.
tea, whatever. So I just want to get it out there, and what we did, he said he heard.
Here,
Uh, I'm in trouble now. So he's gonna write a hard scene for me now, all this
yeah,
detail.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But no, it's just that was always the plan to get it out there because I didn't form it as, and we're not forming this as just one little universe, like one little story. This
Right.
story, the Downtrodden, is what sparks everything else that happens in the universe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
And
it's gonna be pretty good.
you got a lot of characters, so you can pretty much do a spinoff with everybody. I mean, this
I can't.
thing, and I'm sure that's what you're planning on doing. It'll be massive.
Yeah, it's about to be good, man. I'm so excited. I got some stuff I got to talk to you offline about it because the people
We'll
aren't
do
they're
it.
not ready for it yet. But I know you can handle it, but they probably can't.
That no, you don't want to blow the top of the head off right now, Calvin. Man, you gotta save some stuff in the pipe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah, you can't. You gotta tease them, just
You got to
tease them.
tease them exactly.
Yeah, just throw them a little hint every once in a while, just a little bit.
I'm about to put it back on you. So tell me about this new thing you working on.
Man, Star Wars is my jam. Always has been. I was born the
Okay.
same year the first one come out, and I grew up with it. My mother is huge into science fiction. She was more Star Trek, but she loved Star Wars too. And Star Wars became my thing. And that's one of the first. I think it was Empire Strikes Back was one of the first movies that I actually remember going to see in the theaters, you know. And this is basically a love letter to that. It's
Oh,
I'm not going to call it a space opera because uh, it's not an opera. I mean,
okay.
if I had to title it, it would be Star Wars meets the boys because I'm gonna throw my screwed up sense of humor in there with it. So
I
everything
love
that
it.
you've seen from the boys, all those shock moments and the comedy and along with the heart and the story is what I'm
Yeah.
putting into this. So yeah, I'm super
Uh,
excited. I'm working on it right now. Was actually working on a page right before I jumped on here. So it's coming, man. I'm gonna drop a ash can probably next month on Kickstarter, maybe. And
I'm in already.
I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop
I'm
it
in.
and give everybody a little taste of what's all these things that's been lurking around in my head. You know,
Speaking of Kickstarter, I don't ask me. I have your Kickstarter, the last one I just bought. It arrived. I gotta unbox that thing. I'm gonna unbox it on IG, but I'm excited to crack this thing open, man.
dude, I am so proud of that thing. And the way I had some issues with the printer. I mentioned that. I showed it in the stories, in my messages through Kickstarter. But hey, they did me right, Calvin. And
Yeah,
you'll see what I'm talking about when you open this bad boy up.
I'm gonna open it up,
It
man. I just gotta.
was
I had
worth
to clean.
all the aggravation,
Oh
every dime that I paid for it. It was
everything.
perfect. It was perfect. It all worked out, man.
Man, I cannot wait to check it out. I'm gonna open up. It was funny because you see now, last time you were in my studio, I had nothing up. I got talked about, man. I'm just gonna let you know. They're like,
Come
dude,
on.
man, Jerry's studio looks good. Calvin, you got old boxes and dust in the back of your studio, and I was like, so guess what? I finally got
Y'all
one thing
don't
to
hate
look
on
good about.
Calvin. Shit. I mean, what's wrong with you people? Y'all, you can't do the
I got,
man like that. Hell yeah.
got
I
one,
love it.
just just one
I
thing.
love
That's
it.
it.
Man,
No,
I've got too much. My stuff's cluttered. But I
oh, it
love
looks
it. I
good, man.
surround myself with stuff that inspires me. You know, that's
It looks good. It's funny. It's funny you said that. So I have a wall. It's on the other side of them painting over here, and it's a
yeah,
dark blue color. It's supposed to be dark. I was going to do black or dark blue. But what I've been doing is I've been going to cons and artists that I like. I buy original work. Hey, will you draw my character, or will you draw your character, or whatever? So I buy
yeah.
original work from 'em. What I'm gonna do is get them all framed, and I'm gonna do a wall from the top all the way down to the floor, and it's gonna be frames of different artist stuff. I'm gonna even
That's
buy one from
awesome.
you too, and just put it up there and have just that whole wall. That's once I do it, I'll let you take a look at it though. Yeah, it
I
won't be
can't
long.
wait to see it, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, me.
I've got some original art in front of me, um, from some guys. It's all I've everything in front of me is end of days, and I've got my cover art right here in front of me from actually the last issue. Sid Koshin did a cover for me. I reached out to him. I love his work. Um, he did the graphic novel Beneath an Alien Sky. He was
Okay,
actually
okay.
nominated for I can't think of what it is. What's the awards they do in Baltimore every year?
Is it Eisner?
No,
Is it
not the
Eisner?
Eisner.
That's
Not the
right.
Eisner. Yeah, Ringo. He was nominated for a
Okay, okay.
Ringo for
Yeah.
Beneath an Alien Sky. And
Wow.
dude, if you ever get a chance, I'll have to send you a link. He's
Yes,
got that. Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's a one shot. It's a graphic novel. Dude, this thing is gorgeous. If you love science fiction, oh my god, it's incredible. It's beautiful work. But anyway, I'll shoot you a link if you're interested. But yeah, I seen that, and we followed each other for a couple years now too. And I reached out to Sid. It's like, man, I want you to do a cover for me. He's like, well, what you got in mind? And I said, kind of this, but I want to leave it loose, go crazy with it.
yeah.
Man, it wasn't 5 days later, he shoots me back two. And he
You
says,
serious,
yeah, he said, what do you
man?
think about these two? I'm like, that one. He'd kind of roughed it. He hadn't detailed both of them, but he sent me the two roughs, and I was like, and I picked the one that I wanted, and man, he had that thing in about 3 or 4 more days.
What's amazing? One thing man, you network so good. Everybody likes you, man, and everybody appreciates you and stuff like that. I do. I've always talked to you. It's been years, but that's the one thing I don't do. I really don't. And it's not hard for me to do. It's just that
No,
I
you're a
watch
talker
everything
just
and do
like I
everything.
am, man. You're a talker.
And I mean,
We
if
don't
I'm
meet
at
a
a con,
stranger.
I'll talk about it. Yeah, exactly. But I need to do more you do as far as networking as far as collaborations because I do want to get some side, some I guess different covers and stuff like that. I want
Yeah,
to reach out
very.
to
Yeah,
people.
dude,
Yeah,
reach out to them. I hit them up on
yeah,
Instagram. I just shoot them a message.
man, I'm gonna make you laugh. I got a story for you. So
Okay.
we were talking about Scotty Young and all them.
Yeah.
So I'm at Heroes Con and I find out Josh says, "Hey, all right, y'all, you like Scotty Young, Jorge, and all them, but Scotty Young is over there. He got a table over there." You serious? I said, I'm about to go over there and see this man. So I'm walking and stuff. I'm knocking folks out the way. Watch out. No, I didn't do all that. But I
Throwing
get over
elbows.
there.
Yeah,
They
I'm
trying to
trying to
get
see Scotty Young. Damn it.
but no, I walk up and this joker got no, you think I'm joking, man. It's I walk up and I look at it. It's a line so long.
It's
Then he has like
out the
I think
thing.
I
I
don't know if
one
it was
time.
security, huh?
Yeah, it was out the door one time. I remember seeing pictures from the con. Dude,
No,
I had eyes on you. I knew you were there. I had several creators that I'm friends with that were there.
man. Well, I walked up to Scotty Young's table and I see he's there and I'm like, okay, that's Scotty, that's him. But it's a line. I'm thinking, how am I gonna get to the front? So I
Yeah.
walk up to his security guy and he's like, I was like, so I had one of my books on me and I was like, hey man, I said, man, there's no way I'm waiting this long. I said, do me a favor, hand this to Scotty, man. Tell him Calvin's dropping him off. I promise I will give him one of these. Like I knew him. And he's like, oh, I said, yeah, just tell him Calvin dropped us off and he'll know, but make sure he gets it. I said, you got me? He goes, yeah, 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 I got it. And I see him walking back and he's putting it back there and I'm going, but Scotty ain't reached out to me yet, man. I hope he got that book.
I'm sure he did, man.
I sent him a
Scotty.
message, but it's like on private. But one day he's gonna see it. I've seen you at Heroes Con, and I hope he got that book, man.
Yeah.
They
Man,
inspired me.
it's
Yeah,
crazy. That's my favorite part of the cons wasn't actually selling. It was that, you were talking about it earlier. We got to be there before everybody else. And my favorite part was that time because I'd run around nerding out, being the fanboy. I got to meet Tom Drummond at the last one. And I went up to Mr. Tom and I said, "Sir," I said, I don't have I, I don't have anything for you to sign right this minute. I said, I didn't want to bother you about that. I just wanted to let you know you're one of the reasons I'm here today. And he's like, "Oh wow." And I told him, I said, I remember you working on Superboy during the reign of Superman. And I said that was such an inspiration to me, during that time. And I just appreciate everything you've done,
yeah,
and he told me, he said, yeah, he said, so what you're here at the con too? I said, yeah, I'm doing an independent book. He said, well, that's fantastic. I showed him the book. He gave me some tips. Um, Wound up giving him a book. And, so anyway, he tells me he's doing the, oh God, it was like a draw off that day. Jay Lee was supposed to be
yeah.
at the con and he was
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be
read
a
about
part
that.
of it.
Yeah,
And Jay Lee didn't make the con because he was sick. So Mr. Tom got drafted into the draw off. And
right.
I told him, I said, I'm sure you're going to beat these guys hands down. And he's like, well, I hope so, but it's not about the competition. It's just fun, ain't it? And I said, yes, sir, you're right. It's all about the fun. Man's in his 60s, man, and he's still loving it. He's
Like it's
still
not.
passionate about it. I mean, you could see the twinkle in his eye when he was talking about it. He said, it's fun, ain't it? You seen that little twinkle, you know?
I'm telling you, man, it's in this. You're not doing this. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all would like to make a living doing it, but we're doing this because we love it. That's why
Oh,
we're doing it.
God, yeah.
It's funny. I tell you, one of the biggest places I got support from since I've been doing this is a local comic shop called Infinite Realities here.
Yeah.
And it's in Atlanta. It's in Tucker actually. A guy named Chris owns it. But man, he gives good knowledge. I come over there, he welcomes you, he likes to hug, he a big old hug, Calvin,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But right when the book came out, I walk in and he's like, "Hey, when are you doing your signing?"
That's
We did our
awesome.
first signing there, and dude, we mopped up. I mean, they were buying the book. They were grabbing it, and he was encouraged. I mean, he was, every time you go on, he's almost like challenging you. Hey, when's your next one coming out? How's it going? That kind of stuff. And he had a panel that he did at Heroes Con. So he's in the industry, no doubt. Look him up if you get a chance.
I'll
But
do it.
great comic book shop, and like even with your books, you might want to reach out to him, throw my name out there, or if
I
you want to come
appreciate
in
that.
town
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, man, I would
Man,
love you to come
I
stand
hadn't
up.
been.
Yeah,
Dude, I've been wanting to hit up Dragon Con. I've got to look at my schedule for this year. I will definitely hit you up if I'm off, and we'll do it
man,
together.
you let
We'll
me know. I
table
got you.
beside each other so we
I
can
didn't
really
go this
mop it
year.
up.
I didn't
Talking
go
about
this year.
next year. You didn't go to Dragon Con this year? Why not?
Man, it's tired, man. I have been going to different cons. I've been up to Emerald City.
Yeah,
Remember up in Washington State and Atlanta Con and just every con you can think of. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it came around, and I didn't make it in as a artist, and I could have probably got back in if I would have followed up. But I had been running. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna kick back and relax. And that weekend, I sat around. And I was drawing, of course, but I just
Yeah.
relaxed and chilled out for the weekend, and it felt good. I just needed it, I think.
You got to recharge, man. You got to take care of yourself for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Have you Are you going to be picking up new artists and stuff, or are you just going to continue to do solo work?
Man, that's a tough question. I've got some ideas, but for right now, it's just me, man. I might pick up. I mean, I've collaborated with Matt Martin, so technically, I've had other artists. He actually does in that book you've got. He does a 8-page short story at the end of it that kind of puts a bow on Ballad of the Damned.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Bitten. Yeah, oh, man, it's incredible. It's incredible.
That's what I'm saying. With your networking capabilities, your likability and stuff, man. I really truly think that you can do the same thing that I'm thinking. I'm not saying that that's your dream or not, but I really can see you out there with a bunch of books and helping other artists come up. Just this show alone, this platform alone, man, it is major, dude. I don't stop doing it because we need it.
Oh,
We
I'm
need this.
not, man.
You know?
I tell you, I love this. This right here, what we're doing, just as much as making new comics, talking to other creators, and just talking about the business, and you know, just meeting new people. Making lifelong friends. We've known each other for quite a few years now, and I
Just
feel like we
long
grew
time.
up together. I feel
Yeah.
like we grew up
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I old Jonesboro boy.
Yeah.
I spent 4 years in Jonesboro, Georgia. So you
Yeah.
know, hey,
Well,
I'm gonna make it back to Atlanta.
according to what you said, the way your dad was, and he believed in laying them hands, I think we are
Oh yeah,
related. My dad was the same.
yeah. Daddy. He spared a rod, spoiled a child. That he
Say it again.
believed in that. He believed in that.
We turned out okay, man. I think.
Yeah, I told him a while back. I said, Pop, I said, I love you. I said, but when I hit them years, them years. And I told him, I said, during them years, I said, I thought you hated me. I thought you were trying to kill me.
I was beating, I was beating the devil out of you.
That's pretty much what he told me. He said, son, he said, you grown now. You got a grown boy too. He said, you know how hard it is. He said, I didn't want to do that. He said, but I wasn't going to let you be no heathen either. You was going to know how to act, and you was going to know how to treat people. He said, I was going to make sure of that. If I didn't do nothing else,
Right.
that was my job. And I said, I know that. And I said, if you only knew half the stuff I done, you probably would have beat me to death. And he said,
I was,
I, I said, but you saved my life. That I'm sure he did.
yeah,
Calvin. I
yeah.
mean, I know it was because I was stupid. I was hard headed and I was stupid, Calvin.
Me
If you
too.
told me I wasn't going to do something, guess what? I was fixing to show you something. You
Well,
mess
probably
up and
had
tell
already
me I
done.
can't do it. Yeah, mess up and tell me I can't do it. Okay, I can't do that. Yep.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
Mm.
man, it's crazy, but we turned out all right, man, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I was telling my son about it, because he was just like, Dad, how do you get up every morning? Because I'm already up drawing, and then I do it when I
Right.
get home, and I make family time. But he's like, how do you stay consistent doing it? I just like because no one else is gonna do it for me. No one else is gonna
No.
help gonna make the dream come true. If I'm not working it, how can anybody else believe in it? If and I think that the passion comes out in the work. Like I was talking to you about
Oh
your
yeah.
looking at your artwork and stuff like that. Man, dude, people don't understand how long you've been working on that. You don't understand what
Yeah.
it takes. It's
It's
just a lot of work.
years, man. Years. I've done this basically my whole life. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, and I'm sure you've drawn your whole life. I mean, we I've been doing this since kindergarten. I remember drawing a picture. Uh, my teacher, she in kindergarten, she said, "Okay, I want y'all to draw what you want to be when you grow up." And I drew this little
yeah,
picture, and I've still got it somewhere. My mom, she passed away a couple years ago, and we were going through the hope chest, and I found that picture. My mama had held on to it all them years, and you know, but I've been doing this that long, you know. It
oh,
hasn't been consistent because life happened, and I
yeah,
every little excuse under the sun, I'd be like, well, I'll draw later. I got to go to work, or I'm raising kids. I'm doing this. I'm getting married. Every
mhm,
excuse under the sun. But guess what? I ain't got no excuses anymore. You know,
excuses.
my kids are
Nothing stopping.
grown. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm gonna give it everything I got to push it to whatever level it's gonna go to.
Well, I'm excited for you to see this next book that I hang. I think that you're gonna really like it.
I really
Um,
like the first one. I'm ready to see the
did
next one.
did
Yeah,
you?
I
Well,
I'm telling you, you are going to be my first on reviewing a book. I told you that the
okay,
other day,
okay.
and I'm
Hey,
going to
thank
film it. I'm going to film it. I'm gonna go back through this, and I'm gonna kind of break it down.
you. Yeah, give me the. Hey, you just promised me you're gonna give me the good and the bad. I'll take whatever I can get.
I will.
I'm a tough guy,
I
but
got you.
I can
I
take it.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
I this second one I will tell you this. It goes back and it's gonna explain some things, but then I'm actually so what I'm doing now. I came up with the third book. Josh actually. Man, this next one is crazy. Number three, when
Yeah,
I tell you 3, 4, and 5, because it's a 5-part series, number 3 gets going so much, and I'm talking about that's when all the abilities start getting crazy,
breaks
the
loose.
world is going crazy, it's gonna cut loose. But this second book, when you see what it explains, and some of the people who are in the first book, you're gonna go, oh man, that was them where they were younger, and you can tell that's them. It's got some pretty good stuff. I think you're really gonna enjoy this, man. Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm excited. So you said you're just a few pages away from finishing up. Are you calling it volume two or issue two? Because as big as they are, I would almost call them volumes. It's
Man, I don't even know, man. I think I've been saying sometimes I say issue, sometimes I say volume. It's
no,
funny because everybody. So get this. This is what's funny when I go to cons and stuff. Like, man, this thing is thick, and I thought it was supposed to be thick. You know what I'm saying? I thought
yeah,
I was supposed to do a book that thick. But now I'm starting to realize that maybe I could have got away with doing 32 pages or 20 some pages and stuff. But I just wanted the people to have everything. I want you to have it and
right.
just remember that, man, I got this book. It's a great value. The quality's there. Um, I just wanted them just to enjoy it. I don't want to have to cut any corners and stuff like that. I don't ever want to
Yeah,
be in a position where I'm cutting corners. Yeah.
no, definitely not.
I,
Definitely not. And that's why I know you're going to do just fine with however big you want to be with your company because
yeah.
you got the heart, you got the passion, and you see it in your work. It radiates off of you, man. I mean, it's almost like you got a glow, dude. I mean, I'm serious.
Thanks, man.
It
That's
just
that
it.
cocoa butter, man.
Oh, you a mess, dude. You. Oh Lord. But yeah, I mean, seriously, it's gonna be as big as you want it to be, Calvin. It's like we talked about a while ago. We're our own limitation. We're the only
Uh,
thing holding ourselves back. The sky's the limit.
it is, man. I'm telling you, it's just all the way down to writing. And I'm not just me and you, but I'm just talking to anybody who's watching, man. Get after it. There's nothing that you can't do. You got to get after it.
Yeah.
There's no shortcuts. You have to
No.
put that work in. You have to
Got
put that
to.
work in.
That we've seen I know you've seen it too. Right during COVID. And I hate to even bring it up because it's the ugly word to me,
That's all
ugly
right.
word to everybody, but COVID,
Yeah.
that's when all this kind of happened. Everybody started jumping in the ring, and you've seen a lot of them go. They've come and they've went because they realized real quick, like, they didn't want to put the work in, you know?
And I had Kickstarters I still haven't got to this day. I like,
Exactly. That's what,
I'm
yeah.
like, where is it coming? Yeah.
Yeah,
You
probably
know,
not. You might as well write that off, man. If it's
that
been
money
2 or 3 years, yeah. And but here we are. You know, we're
gone.
several years after, and guess what? We're still here. We're still here, man.
Mm,
And
still doing it.
hey, the main thing, you know, surround yourself with good people. I'll say that. I can't say that enough. We've always backed each other up. We've always give each other words of encouragement over the years. And, I try to pass that on to everybody, you know. And I see an artist that I really like their work. I don't mind writing in the comments. Some people, oh, they're just heart and they're gone. If the work's good, I mean, they put it out there. They put it on Front Street. They put their heart and soul into it, and they put it out there for you to see. The least you could do if it moves you in some way is comment. You know, take the time to comment on, give them that little piece of encouragement. You know,
People don't understand how much that
they
pushes.
really don't.
So,
They really don't.
man, I can get or a share.
Oh
Man, you get a
yeah,
share.
share. I
A
mean,
share be up
that's a
in your
whole nother. I'm cutting cartwheels.
man. You get a share. You be up in your heart. You be like, they share my stuff. You know,
Yeah, get misty eyes. They put it in their story. You like, oh my god,
you
you
like,
know.
whoa. I know,
Yeah,
man. You like, I gotta share. I tell you, I have to get better about how to use IG. Like I know the basics and drawing, and I do my little reels and stuff. But I think I'm gonna start taking some time to really understand how. You remember that time I said, "Hey man, how do I reshare this?" You had to talk
yeah,
me through it one time.
yeah,
I was like, "Okay, that's how I do it."
yeah,
I need to get better about it. But it's funny that you just said that about comments because sometimes I will go in there and put hearts and fire and stuff like that. But I think I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna start today. I'm gonna start saying more because I know what I'm thinking in my head. Hey man, the cross section
exactly.
looks great. The shadows look nice. I love how you have the backgrounds and
Exactly.
yeah,
Think about how good. That's what I try to do. Think about how it makes you feel when somebody comments on your stuff. That's
yeah,
I always put myself in that circumstance when I'm looking at other people's work. If you're like, oh wow, and I'm gonna put exactly what I'm thinking. Oh wow, that
yeah.
great work. You know, took 10 seconds. You don't know you might have just that son might become the next Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo just because you took 10 seconds out of your day to say, "Oh wow, great work." You know,
That's true.
you
Yeah.
you gotta push it, pass it forward. That's what I try to live by. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. If
Agreed.
everybody and I could do better, man. We could all do better. But if we would
Oh,
all do that, just think of how better our society would be. You
yeah,
know,
that's true. That's
because
true.
it's
I
not
tell
in a
you,
good place right now.
man, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Everybody's
It is.
worried
We don't
about
even get me started.
themselves. Yeah, everybody's
You
worried
know,
about themselves. Nobody's worried about anybody else. You know.
you know, it's funny even in the industry and stuff like that. And I feel like you get a lot of love in this industry and stuff like that. But I think it's enough business out there for everybody. I'm
Oh
not really
God, yeah,
competing. And I can see it.
yeah.
There's this guy. He puts a comic book social on. I think his last name is Hargrove. He does
Hmm,
a comic book. So and I go out and I support it, man. But
right.
he brings in like independent comic artists, and it's like a theater, man. And Hargrove, man, does. I mean, it looks real nice. And I'll send you his link, man. I'm talking about you really
Oh
need to
yeah.
reach out to that. He has his own book and that and stuff out. But they go in and they're talking, they're telling all the independent, they're giving their resources around away,
Right.
saying, "Hey, this printer, I did this," and then telling you what they did wrong, and stuff like that. That kind of stuff we got to keep going, man, because
Oh
it makes it
God,
easier
yeah.
for the next generation to come up. I really want, and that's something I would try to. I want to find. I haven't found my like. This is your platform. I still need to find a platform where I can give back a little more to other artists. I don't know if it's instructional stuff. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find it and do
Dude, I'm telling you, you could start right there on IG, man. Just coming on there and doing a live and maybe kind of giving a little information, in a live. There
it. Yeah, it's true.
and people
It's
people flock to that, man. I mean, they really do.
cool, man.
Anything. Go ahead.
Have you been on Claire Meats channel?
No, I don't. No.
She's sitting there. She make man. So I bought a whiteboard because she writes. She makes herself accountable, man. She don't know me from the man in the moon, but I get on her show. And she's writing everything she has to do. She's tracking it and showing you. Then she gives you a chance on her show to give a shout out for what you're working on. Now, who's
Oh
gonna do that?
wow.
You shout because you got stacks of followers, and she gives you a chance to shout. And I'm too shy to shout my own stuff out like that right now because I'm really just into what she's doing. I'm gonna shout myself one day and say, "Hey, I have a book," that kind of stuff. But she
Yeah,
comments back, reads some things. Man, follow her when she goes live. Man, it is a great feed to follow. Man, she's good. Her name is Clara Me. Check her out.
I'm gonna
Yep.
definitely check her out for sure.
Yeah,
Now, tell me this, Calvin. Have you got your own website yet? Have you set your up?
yeah. So it's funny you should brought that up. So I have a website, but when I just went through Fiverr and had this guy, he's revamping everything. Cause dude, let me tell you what I did. I messed up. I had my store set up and it was just like doing just PayPal. So you can do it through PayPal. It didn't have it where it could take take every type of payment.
Right,
And
right.
I didn't know that because you learn that like we're artists, but we're not that side of the art. It's art and then the
Exactly.
business of art. And I'm not gonna lie, so I was looking on there, and don't get me wrong, I was getting a bunch of sales, mailing stuff out and stuff like that. But then I looked on the thing, and it's like 300 people have put stuff in the cart. But then one of my old classmates was like, "Hey, this thing is making me do PayPal or something. Do you have another way? Can I just cash out you the money?" And I looked into it, and I didn't have all those ways. So what? I think in 2 days, the new site's going to be up and they'll be able to pay any kind of way they want to pay. And I'm going to resend it out to all those people who visit my store and put stuff in the cart to hopefully
Gotcha.
capture those people too. Yeah,
I
and maybe
got
give them a little goodies just for buying it, just to say thank you.
right. Now, is that set up in your links in your profile?
Yeah,
What I'll
it's
do, when we get off of here, I'll go in and copy that link and I'll paste it down here. So we'll
okay.
have it in the description so you can go and I'll have all his info where you guys can go and follow Calvin on Instagram. I
Yeah,
know that's your main hangout.
it is.
And I'll have the link to the website where you can go and pick up this book, you guys, because if you hadn't, what the hell are you doing? I mean, come on, get out, just get on it, get on it. Check this awesome thing out.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Jeremy, I'm so excited for what we have. I know we're gonna be around. I know we'll always be buddies and stuff. I
Oh
want
yeah.
to work a con with you. I promise you, I will not get you in trouble. I promise you, I won't get you in trouble.
All right, yeah, that's
Just,
right.
just, and but no, man, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do a con together. I am determined. I don't care if I have to go
Yes,
down to Mississippi. I'm gonna do one, man. I'm coming. You tell me where. How about this? You tell me where to meet you, and I'll be
I got you, buddy. We're definitely going to do it. And like I said, I got to look at next year's schedule. I'm hoping because the way I work, it kind of rotates around. I'm hoping that I'll actually be home, for
there.
Dragon Con. If I am,
Yeah. Okay.
come to see you, buddy. I'll be up
Definitely.
there. We'll get us, and I'll get in touch with you. We can try and get our tables set up beside
Yeah.
each other.
Man, you let me know. It will be great. I'm excited, man. I really
Oh, I
appreciate
know
you
we'll
being
have a
on.
good time.
Yeah,
Man, it's always a pleasure, Calvin. I love having you on here, man.
definitely.
Well, guys, anything else you want to plug, Calvin, before we wrap this thing up?
That's a wrap. I just want to let you all know issue 2 is coming soon. I just got finished. I got to finish up these last couple inks. Thank you for being patient. I thank you all for all the support. Jerry, I thank you for your support, man. And
Oh, always
I mean,
welcome, dude.
it's about to get good. We're about Papa Bear Comics is about to push some good stuff. I always say, let me tell you a little story, and that's what we're about to do. Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait. Hey, you guys, you heard it. Jump down in the description. Jump on this thing. Follow Calvin on Instagram. Jump on the website. You heard him. Give him 2 or 3 days, get everything sorted out, and get on this book, you guys. I promise you won't regret it. Calvin, such a pleasure as always. Thank you for your time, my friend. I can't wait to see what you do. We're definitely going to do a con together. We're going to make that happen. That's a guarantee. Anyway, you guys, if you're new to the show, hey, you know what to do. Subscribe and jump on this thing. Be a part of the conversation. Anyway, that's the show. Till next week.